still trying to work on the lighting. Sometimes I think I overdo the lighting. And then like right now it looks too dark. This is so hard. Welcome, witches, to today's July TBR. Before we hop into July's TBR, we need to talk about June's TBR because it went a little haywire. I did not read what I said I was going to read. I read books. That will be in my June wrap up coming here shortly. But if we're talking about the books that I told you I was going to read, we're not batting 1,000, that's for sure. I did read A Nearly Normal Family by M.T. Evertson. This one, I believe, was for the book I was avoiding. I did read The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yambao. I read this for my In Real Life book club. The next poll was Continue a Series that I had pulled, and I had picked out How to Seal Your Own Feet, and then I said I was going to go ahead and do How to Cheat Your Own Death to kind of finish out the series of what was released by Kristen Perrin, also part of the Cozy Mystery Bingo. I did not read them. I had picked out We Burn So Bright. I think this was for a short book under 200 pages. This was the shortest one I had. I'm really disappointed that I didn't get into this one, but I still kind of hope to get to it, but didn't get to that. And then another one was a book you've been avoiding, and that was The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. This is just a chunky fantasy, and those are always a bit intimidating. So I did not read 4 and read 2. So I'm typically somebody who does a really good job of picking out TBRs and reading them. This month went a little bit haywire. I did start up on NetGalley again, so I read a bunch of NetGalley books. Again, I'll talk about that more in my June wrap-up that's coming up. Let's jump into the polls that we're going to have for this month's TBR. So I'm going to do another 4-card poll, and then I'll talk about some of the other books that I'm going to read. Just doing that. Let's shuffle them. So the first one is going to be An Avoided Book, Face What You Fear. Choose a Book Long Ignored. That was one we got last month, and that was surprisingly one I got to. High Anticipated, A Burning Desire. Choose a book you crave to read. I'm pumped about that one. Random Genre, Embrace the Unknown. Select a book by chance, so we will pull a random genre generator for that one. And another one is Serious Progress, Continue the Journey, pick up the next in a series. I may end up following that. Let's go ahead and go pick out what books we're going to have to this, and then I will hop on camera and we'll talk about them. Welcome back to my beautiful face. Let's talk about the polls and what we have selected. The first one was an avoided book. I could have gone back with The Crimson Crown. However, I decided to change it up. Leandra the Zero TBR was talking about this book. I read the first one, Chasing the Boogeyman, and for some reason I was like, yeah, I want to read the second one. I think there's a third one coming out. It kind of made me think, I need to read this, see if one, I want to keep both, or at least the first one still, or if I want to get to this or not. Plus, if you see my shelf by shelf audit, that shelf, which is shelf 23, and so if I read this one, then there's only one other book on that shelf that I haven't read, so that's also a plus. And I will have read kind of all my true crime style books, and so I'm going to pick this one and just decide, do I want these? Do I not want these? So that is what I picked for avoided book. The next one was Highly Anticipated, and I just feel like we did just finish my mid-year freak out, but I need to go for a Highly Anticipated would be one of my 5 stars. The Family Experiment by John Mars. I've really been eyeing this. I've been really kind of wanting one of those, a sci-fi-ish thriller to be more specific, but this is following a family who they're like experimenting on families, seeing what's happening, and that just feels like the mood that I need. I realize that that sounds really weird to say, but that's what I'm feeling. So we are going to pick that for Highly Anticipated. The next one was Random Genre. So let me get out a random genre generator. It says spin it. fantasy sci-fi. Let's turn the ring light back on. Fantasy sci-fi is what it says. Okay. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. We Burn So Bright by TJ Klune. This is a fantasy. It's one that I really wanted to read. It's short. So, for the random genre, this is what I am picking. The last one is Series Progress, and this is probably going to be a little disappointing, but I'm going to go back and choose these two again. And I say that because the TBR pulls are really supposed to be books on my shelves, and I really don't have a lot of series that I need to continue or that I have to continue. I have series that I could start. I have the Finley Donovan series that I could use as that prompt. But this one is almost like a completionist, and I feel last month, let's go ahead and fix it. So I'm going to go with these. Please do not be disappointed in me that I picked 3 from last month. But you know what? We're gonna catch up. Brings us into a couple that are in there because I need to get to them. For example, my in real life fantasy book clubs month is Startup Hell. I'm really excited for this one, and I also love Those Edges. This is essentially like working at a startup company. The startup boss has sold his soul to make the company successful. She's, I believe, a witch, or at least her mom is this kick-ass world-saving, demon-slaying shadow council wizard. But the boss dies before like the demon goes back, and they have to get it back. Word plays. And I'm hoping for kind of what I was hoping for sign here: hell, humor, funniness, just based off a lot of the things on the cover. And then another one I really need to get to is somebody let me borrow this, Six of Crows. They are reading this and curious if they are interested in it. I don't have the cover because they just gave me the book, and so they want to know if they should do it. They're kind of curious. There's somebody at work who absolutely loves this series and like reads it all the time, so we were going to read it. She got to, don't judge this woman, she's the sweetest woman ever, but she dog ears pages, so she might be a serial killer, who knows. I really just kind of need to know if I need to read it, and just read it to like give her feedback on whether we should. So that is it for our July TBR, and I will see you in the next one. Let me know what books you are reading this month, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, witches.